You need to sign these papers, Emma, my mother said, sliding a stack of documents across the kitchen table. I stared at them, my coffee untouched, breakfast half eaten. The morning after my post-grad celebration should have been quiet. Instead, I was facing another attempt to take away what my grandfather left me. The lake house belongs to Jessica now, my father added from the window. She needs a fresh start after the divorce. You have your career. I'm Emma Parker. I'm 28. And once again, my parents were trying to guilt me out of the one place that's always been mine. The lake house wasn't just property, it was my sanctuary. The place where Grandpa taught me about nature, photography, and most importantly, resilience. I slid the papers back toward them. No, Grandpa left it to me for a reason. Mom's expression hardened. Jessica has kids, Emma. Think of the memories they could make. You're never even there. I almost laughed. They had no idea I'd been spending every weekend at the lake house for the past year, using it as my research base for my doctoral thesis. Grandpa's old study had become my lab. Last weekend, I said. And the one before that. I let that hang in the air. The lake house is more than a building. It's my work, my future, my legacy. Dad slammed his hand on the table. Your legacy. What about family? Jessica's kids need stability. I shot back before I could stop myself. Maybe she should have thought about that before gambling away her savings. The words hit hard. We'd all been pretending her divorce was just bad luck, not a consequence of her addiction. Then Mom played her final card, tears. How can you be so selfish? Your grandfather would be ashamed. Wrong move. Grandpa had warned me. Don't let them guilt you. The safe holds the truth. I stood up and gathered my things. The answer is no. Mom's tears vanished as quickly as they came. She pulled out a lighter and held it to the deed framed on the kitchen wall. Then you leave us no choice. The flame caught. The paper blackened. Grandpa's signature turned to ash. There, she said. Now you have to sign. It's the only way to keep ownership. I didn't flinch. You should have asked about the safe first. Dad's voice cracked. What safe? The one in the lake house basement, I replied calmly. The one Grandpa showed me before he died. The one with the original deed. His full will, and his journals. Paused at the door. 30 years of records. Every dollar misused, every loan from my college fund to pay Jessica's debts. It's all there. Their faces drained of color. Mom whispered, "You're bluffing." I showed them a photo on my phone. Of the safe, the deed, the journals. He kept receipts. Literally. Emma, wait. Dad called out. We can talk this through. No, I said firmly. I think Grandpa's journals say everything that needs to be said. I left without another word. As I drove, my phone buzzed with texts and calls. I ignored them. The lake house came into view, its weathered exterior standing like a quiet witness to our family's history. But something was off. Fresh tire tracks in the gravel. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, Jessica stood in the living room, a box of files from the basement at her feet. Looking for something, Jess? Asked, making her jump. Mom said the deed was gone. Said you had to sign it over. Smiled. Too bad. The safe's contents are already with my lawyer. Have been for months. She dropped the box. Papers spilled across the floor. This isn't fair, she hissed. You have your PhD, your career. Have nothing. My kids need this. I walked to the window, the same one Grandpa used to sit by, watching the lake. Your kids need a mother who takes responsibility, I said. Not one who expects others to clean up her messes. You don't understand. I do, I cut in. You lost $200,000 in online gambling. That money was for your kids' college. Silence. She had no defense. Just shame and the weight of consequences. And me. I had what Grandpa gave me. Not just a house but strength. And the truth. Money that Tom found missing. That's what ended your marriage. Am I wrong? Jessica collapsed onto the couch, her guard crumbling. How do you know all this? Grandpa's journals weren't just about Mom and Dad's financial messes, I said. He tracked everything, including the time they drained my college fund 5 years ago to cover your first gambling debt. The color drained from her face. They told me that money came from their savings, she whispered. They lied. Just like they're lying now about the deed being destroyed. Just like they've been lying to themselves about enabling you. My phone buzzed again. Probably another warning from our parents that Jessica was at the lake house. Too late. I looked at her. Really looked. The designer clothes couldn't hide how hollow she looked. Dark circles under her eyes. A tremor in her hands. She was unraveling. When was the last time you played? Asked gently. She flinched. Last night. Lost another $5,000 I don't have. And you thought getting the lake house would fix that? She nodded weakly. Mom said we could sell it. Split the money. She said, you were being selfish. That family helps family. I turned to Grandpa's old desk, opening the bottom drawer where I kept my research folders. You want to know why Grandpa left it to me? I pulled out a thick binder and laid it on the desk. This is why. I've been studying the lake's ecosystem, measuring climate impact, tracking local wildlife. 3 universities want to partner with me to build a research station right here. Jessica frowned. What does that have to do with anything? Everything, I said softly. Grandpa didn't just give me a house. He gave me a purpose. He knew I'd protect this place. Preserve it, not just for me but for the future. For your kids too. If you'd stop looking at it like a bank account. I spread the photos across the desk. Herons nesting in reeds, rare fish in clear waters, wildflowers blooming by the shoreline. Your kids could learn about nature here. About conservation. About leaving something better behind. She stared silent. Then tears slipped down her face. I don't know how to stop, she whispered. Every time I lose, I think the next bet will fix it. And then I lose again. For the first time in years I saw my sister. Not her mistakes. There's a treatment center in the next town, I said. Grandpa left emergency money in a private account. For medical help. Mom and Dad don't control it. Her head snapped up. What? 6 months of intensive therapy. Fully covered. But you have to choose it, Jess. No more rescue missions. No more lies. You get better for real, or we can't keep doing this. She looked at the photos again. The kids love this lake, she said quietly. Tom used to bring them fishing here. They still can. Once you're healthy. Once you're the mom they need. Car door slammed outside. Our parents had arrived. Jessica stood, wiping her eyes. They're going to lose it. I smiled, remembering Grandpa's words. The hardest choices are usually the right ones. Let them. Sometimes the only way to help family is by standing firm. The front door burst open. Mom rushed in, Dad behind her. They stopped cold at the sight. Jessica's tear-streaked face, papers scattered, my research laid bare. What have you done? Mom hissed, glaring at me. Before I could answer, Jessica stepped forward. She showed me the truth, she said. Then, turning to our parents, I need help. Not another lie. Not another cover-up. Mom paled. Jessica, don't. I stepped beside her. She knows where my college fund went. I have proof, every loan, every hidden withdrawal. Every lie. I locked eyes with both of them. Is that really the legacy you want to leave behind? Dad sank into Grandpa's old armchair. For once, he looked his age. Tired. Beaten. We were just trying to protect the family. I placed the journal on the coffee table in front of them. Then it's time to stop hurting us in the name of helping us. No, I said firmly. You were trying to protect your image. That's not the same thing. From the drawer, I pulled out the brochure I'd kept for weeks. The treatment center Grandpa once mentioned in his notes. This is what real protection looks like. This is what family means. Jessica took it with trembling hands. Our parents stood in stunned silence. Outside the window, sunlight glinted off the lake. Unchanged, even as the storm inside these walls began to settle. Grandpa would have appreciated the metaphor. A month has passed since that day at the lake house. Jessica checked into the treatment center the next morning. She showed a kind of courage I hadn't seen in her for years. Maybe ever. Our parents are still adjusting. They speak less but listen more. Now I sit in Grandpa's old study, my research office, analyzing data from our latest water quality tests. The lake house has become exactly what Grandpa envisioned, a family sanctuary and a hub for environmental research. My phone buzzes. Jessica. 90 days clean. Kids visiting tomorrow. Can we use the dock? I smile, typing back. Already set up the fishing poles. Don't forget their life jackets. Then I hear the crunch of gravel outside. Ben's car. He's been stopping by more often lately, always under the pretense of checking on the property. But today, he carries a familiar wooden box. Found this in the attic, he says, setting it down on the desk. Your grandfather's old photography gear. Thought you might want it for your research. I open it carefully, the scent of dust and aged leather rising. Inside sits Grandpa's beloved camera and lenses. Untouched, well kept. You kept these. Dad shifts uncomfortably. Was going to sell them back when things were tight. Couldn't do it. The admission hangs heavy between us. That must have been hard, I say. Choosing not to sell them. Harder to admit we were wrong. He picks up one of my research photos. A blue heron mid-flight. Native grasses restored along the bank. Wildlife's returning. 23 new species this year, right? 23 so far, I confirm. Funding for the research station is almost finalized. He nods, still studying the photo. Your grandfather would be proud. Not just of this, he gestures around the room, but of how you handled everything. You stood your ground without tearing the family apart. I had a good teacher. He smiles faintly. Better than your mother and I ever were. We're selling the country club membership. Blink. That was Mom's prized possession. Her ticket to social status. Mom agreed. She's learning. We all are. We're using the money to help with Jessica's aftercare program. He runs a hand across Grandpa's desk. Sometimes you have to lose everything to figure out what really matters. Sunlight pours through the windows, casting long, warm shadows. Outside, a family of ducks glides over the calm water. Jessica's bringing the kids tomorrow, I say. You and Mom should come too. Help them fish like you used to. He nods. We'd like that. As he turns to leave, he pauses at the door. Emma, your grandfather's journals. What are you going to do with them? I've thought a lot about that. They stay in the safe. The past is the past, Dad. What matters is what we do next. Relief softens his expression. He nods, then walks out, leaving me with Grandpa's camera, and the quiet weight of everything we've been through. Later that evening, while I'm photographing a new bird species near the shoreline, Mom's car pulls into the drive. She steps out, carrying a large container, her posture uncertain, something new for her. I made your grandfather's lake house stew, she says, setting it down. Thought you might be hungry with all this research. It's a small gesture, but it means everything. Thanks, Mom. Hesitate. Want to see what I'm working on? She pauses, then nods. I show her my latest photographs explaining the data, the species recovery, the future we're trying to protect. For once, she listens, really listens. I was wrong, she says quietly. About the lake house. About all of it. We thought we were helping Jessica by covering for her. But we nearly lost both of you. But you didn't, I say. We're still here. Just changed. The next morning I stand on the deck, watching Jessica's kids sprint toward the dock. Laughter carries across the water. Their parents follow with tackle boxes and bait. Mom helps with the life jackets. Dad shows the twins how to cast. Jessica catches my eye from across the dock and mouths. Thank you. I nod. She's present fully. And for the first time in a long time at peace. I raise Grandpa's old camera and snap a photo. It captures everything he wanted for this place. Family, healing, nature thriving, futures unfolding. The lake house isn't just a home anymore. It's a promise fulfilled. In his final journal entry, Grandpa wrote, "The lake house isn't just about land or wood. It's about legacy, the choice between preserving what matters and selling out for comfort. Emma will understand." I looked down at the photo in my hands, then out at the water. Clear, protected, full of life. He was right. I do understand.